Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Habs Tonight YouTube channel. I am Brando Legacy, joined with my co-host for a night, Shane Gomo. How's it going today, buddy?
Fantastic, fantastic. Glad to have you back, Brando. It's been a while, but I know you've been busy raising our future superstar, right? Keep an eye on Easton Legacy, folks. He's going to be tearing up the league in, 17 years' time? Yeah?
Yeah, about the draft, and yeah, 17 years. But no, it's been good. Been a busy year. Easton's a year and 2 months now, so um, the schedule and routine's getting a little bit more down pat, and now I have more time to be able to do stuff like this. So I figured I'd bring back the old Legacies Corner for some of those that do know it's what I started my YouTube channel with. And then Dale and I hooked up and got the Habs Tonight YouTube channel going, and here we are now. And time to revive this little segment here. I think I'm hoping to do this with you and some other guests. I know Derek Weiss is going to hopefully jump on from time to time, some members of the Habs Tonight crew. So Monday nights, we'll hopefully do this every week. We'll be covering the Habs, obviously. We'll do a weekly recap of them. We will do around the league news. We got some fun segments. We got McLean's Pub percentages coming up. We'll explain that later. And we also have a Mount Rushmore for tonight with the best warm-up pump-up song. So we will do our Mount Rushmore of the best warm-up pump-up song. And then at the end of the show, we'll be doing the Habs upcoming week and predictions. But no, we're just going to have some fun. Monday nights, not much going on. Weekend's over. How's it going in your area?
I mean, winter's here, right? It's not as bad as Buffalo, but we have snow and, not too fond of that. But hey, you know what? It's synonymous with ODR season. So strapping up the skates soon, hopefully, and we'll get out there and listen to our favorite pump-up songs. By the way, people, send us your Mount Rushmores as well, right? In the comments, the songs that you like, send them our way, and afterwards, right, we'll be revealing our rankings, but you can vote on who had the best ranking, me or Brando. So keep an eye on that.
Yes, absolutely. That'll be fun. We'll see what the fans think of the Mount Rushmore choices, but let's jump into the Habs. I mean, I know we did some post-game shows. I don't want to overstep too much, but Tuesday we see a 5-1 loss to the Devils. Not the best. 6-4 loss to Columbus on Thursday. Once again, not the best, chasing the game. And then Saturday, what a crazy game that was. So I want to get your thoughts on the week as a whole. What were you thinking of the Habs last week?
Yeah, I mean, playing against the Devils, they're by far the hottest team in the league right now. They were like 11 or 12 winning straight. Like I forget counting. Like, can someone tell me how many games they've won straight? Like it's pretty ridiculous. But I was a big critic of Lindy Ruff before the season. I thought he was on the hot seat. I thought he was on his way out.
You were chanting fire Lindy at the first game, weren't you?
Oh, I was. The way he's been managing his team for the past few years, I hate it. I hate it. But listen, I'll eat my words. Like he's proving himself to be quite the NHL coach. So shout out to the Devils, man. I have a buddy who's a Devils fan who is just on cloud nine right now. He's loving it. And I mean, we knew the Devils were going to be good at some point, right? We didn't expect it to be this soon. But with a core like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, who's become, an all-star all of a sudden, you got young guys like Ned Nichas and, the other Hughes brother coming up, Sue. So sorry, not Nichas. What am I saying? The other Slovakian they drafted, I forget his name there, but Nemec. Yeah, very close. Nemec, Nichas. Either way, they're going to be a nasty team for years to come. One thing they do need, though, is goaltending, but Vitek Vanacek has been pretty solid so far. So granted, I didn't expect anything much of that game against the Devils, but against Columbus, though, that was a bit disappointing, I got to say, because they are a stinky team once again. I mean, they've been pretty bad throughout my lifetime, honestly. There was just that one period there with Duchesne, Bobrovsky when they went all in and they won one series and then got bounced. Yeah. So Columbus has never been, a fantastic team. I did expect better from them this year, though, with Gaudreau and whatnot, but injuries and all that. So I expected a better game when we played them, but that was not the case. And that stupid cannon, they need to get rid of that thing. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And one thing that was nice, though, especially in the Columbus game, is there's no quit in the team. I know they should never be trailing that team anyways. And that's saying as Montreal was the last place team last year, but it was nice that they can mount that comeback, and it seems game after game. I mean, we saw it Saturday night. I mean, what an electric kind of ending to the game. For those that don't follow me on social media, my internet and TV was out, so I was listening to the game
Oh,
this Saturday. And don't get me wrong, Pete Rutgazer, he's not a bad radio announcer. I just wish it was Dan Robertson, but I just found clinging to the crowd noise and
yeah.
listening because they would react obviously faster than Pete Rutgazer could say it. And then with that 1.9 seconds left, I just remember the last few seconds, I was like, there's not much time left. There's not much time left. And you just keep hearing Caulfield ripping it wide, Caulfield ripping it wide. But they tie it up, and then they go on to win it in the shootout. Captain Nick, shootout winner. Jake Allen, once again, stellar in the shootout and penalty shot. So just an electric game.
Yeah.
Looked like a playoff atmosphere.
I saw videos from inside the Bell Center, right? People, videotaping the goal. And man, I got chills. Like I keep watching it on repeat. It's just beautiful. There's really no other arena that does it like the Bell Center, right? Like you can go to a Tuesday game to watch the Habs play a meaningless team, and it will be more electric than a playoff game, say elsewhere in the States or whatever. So, the Bell Center crowd is just different, man. It's special.
And absolutely. And then we also saw, I mean, the big topic of the year so far is the top line for the Montreal Canadiens. We see Suzuki's got 11 goals, 12 assists for 23 points in 18 games. Caulfield's got 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 in 18 games. Kirby Dach gets added on to that crew. He's up to 16 points in 18 games, and that's barring the 5-6 games he didn't play with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do we finally have the top line that Montreal fans have been waiting for this long?
Goodness, it's certainly beautiful to see, but I don't know how long it'll last, knowing that Kirby Dach is at heart a center, right? He's likely going to go back to the second line and have his own line there. But for the time being, I mean, this is phenomenal chemistry. I don't recall seeing a line like this on the Habs since I started watching. I've been an avid Habs watcher for 15 years, and I've never seen a line like this. It is special. The closest thing was probably Dano, Galley, and Tatar. They had that little streak there where they were hot, but not at this point. Like, this is just next level. It's pretty spectacular.
And that's the thing too. If they keep this up, barring the pace, we know it's early and all that extra stuff, but if they keep this up, would you give Kent Hughes the room to use prospects and the picks to maybe go find your other 2C a la Pierre-Luc Dubois at some point in the next couple of years? Either trade for him, or you can wait that other year, see if you can sign him as a free agent, fill that gap, and then you got a really, well, if you'd have Pierre-Luc Dubois, hopefully Slafkovsky or Messar or Sean, like the prospect pool that's coming is really good. So
yeah,
I'm not sold on completely. Like, I'd like to see Dach go back to C, especially if he becomes a great 2C. But I don't think it's the end of the world if he doesn't either.
That's it. No, that's it.
You
If the chemistry's there, just keep them together for sure. And I mean, for second line center, I'm looking at Mr. Owen Beck, who we just drafted this year, who is phenomenal in the OHL this season. He's just, I think he's made for that role of that second line center. He's responsible two-way. I mean, for people who don't know a lot about him, please watch some video. Okay. He's electric. He's so good and so smart as well. So no matter what, I think he has a place on the team within the next few years. So I don't know if I'd spend prospects to go get a Dubois or another established center. I think we got a good pipeline coming.
Oh, I agree 100%. I'm saying if you feel like the group is ahead of, I said it last year, and I kind of said Bergevin was stuck between two windows, the Price Weber window and the Suzuki Caulfield one.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how fast he wants to speed that up, in my opinion, because Caulfield, Nick, and them, like, they're still not in close to their prime. Like, they're still another 3-4 years away from their prime. I'd say the team from really contending is 3 to 5 years till you're consistently playoffs, expecting playoff series wins. So, I mean, it'll great to see what Beck does, but I still think he's 2-3 years away. But it also depends what the team does the rest of the year. Because as much as everybody wanted them to tank for Connor Bedard, I understand that. But you can't tell an NHL player to stop trying or not try to win, because it's their livelihood, it's their career, it's how they make money. So if the team is ready earlier, I'm curious what management will do. It's really interesting, actually.
That's it. I mean, this trade deadline is going to be really interesting to see if they're going to be sellers, buyers, or neither. I still think they should be sellers, but to a certain extent, right? You don't sell the farm like last year, getting rid of the Sherratts and the Lekkonens and all that. You got to keep, certain key players, but the expiring contracts have to go for sure. And then I don't think you spend draft picks to get players now, right? No. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think we'll be making a lot of waves this trade deadline, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless.
Exactly. And with Sean Monahan, as much as I love him, I'm happy he's bouncing back. With that contract, everybody just thought the first round pick was the add-in, but I mean, Sean Monahan's been great. I think he's got 10 points in 18 games or something along close to those lines. He's got 9 points. Nope, 10 points. My mistake. Yeah. But with Sean Monahan, you got to get rid of that. You got to see what you can get for him at the very least, and maybe have some dialogue. Hey, Sean, if you're willing, we'd like to have you back next year. That's some center depth or winger depth if you need it. So, but you can't get stuck on the thing like they're a playoff bubble team or a wild card team and not sell and then get nothing at the draft. And then you're kind of stuck in that no man's land of picking between 16 to 20, where you want to be picking in that top 10, especially top 8 in this draft. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Like you said, the draft this year is just insane. If you don't know what's coming, okay, this is one of the deepest drafts in recent history. Like this is
like 03 or 04 draft.
I mean, this is reminiscent of 2015 to me when we had, obviously the McDavid Eichel, but Rantanen, Aho, Shabbat, Barzal, Besser. I mean, it just kept going. Like Konechny, you can just keep naming the first round picks. It was insane. And it's going to be similar again this year. Like the top 10, top 8, like you said, is just salivating. Like it's insane what the talent is there. So obviously, you do want to play well, like you said, right? Tanking is a myth. It's been debunked, but again, it's like you don't want to be in the middle either because it's a vicious cycle. We've seen it before. We kept picking 13, 15, 14, like it just keeps going. We can't really advance. We can't get better. So it's a weird cycle to be in for sure.
But I'm curious. So the Habs already have 2 first round picks going into this draft. And the word is the top 6 to 8 would have went 1 last year. So better than Slavkovsky, which is quite wild. So you have Florida's first round pick and you have Montreal's first round pick. You have a deep prospect cupboard. Sean Monahan at the deadline, whatever he gets you, I'm not going to put a price tag on it yet because he could go down or he could go up. You have the ability to move up. I know most teams won't probably move down, especially with the talent at this level. But I mean, if Kent Hughes can find a way to move up just a little bit to get one of those 6 to 10 range, or depending on the Habs season, we can't predict the future. But anyways, it's just exciting and it's interesting to see what this new management's doing. And you got to give them full trust because I mean, everything they've done so far seems to have been 100% hits.
Exactly.
So,
can't doubt them.
And what else I was going to say about the Habs, because we brought up the first line doing so well, is the secondary scoring is starting to come. We see it with Sean Monahan, and we see Anderson putting up goals. Galley scoring again. Dvorak's been hot lately. Hoffman's been good now that he's out hurt, unfortunately. But we see Slavkovsky jumping up on that line. So some exciting times and some secondary scoring. The Habs are an interesting team. We're not saying they're playoff bound or anything, but they're not the bottom 3 team that everybody expected to start the year.
No chance. And another thing that I'm liking is the implication from the defense, right? So I feel like they're more involved offensively as well, right? You look at Matheson's score on his first game back, and I kept a close eye on the preseason games, and I thought he was one of our best players altogether, not just our best defenseman, one of our best players. And I got to see him play live against the Devils, our first preseason game. He was on the ice for like 30 minutes. The guy was never on the bench and he was never gassed either. Like he was always going at it. So he's a guy that I really, really enjoy. We've only seen one real game from him, but so far so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm curious what that Matheson thing does to the group going forward. He seems to play that style that Marty and Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon want them to play. So it's fun times. I'm curious what they're going to do on the back end. I mean, they say they're going to rotate the Harris, Jack-Eye, Kovacevic in and around, but it seems like the top four is set now, and it's just that bottom pairing that needs to get solved. And unfortunately, one of these rookies that have been playing so good are going to have to go down to Laval just so they can get that time, right? I'd rather them go to Laval, play as much as I hate to say it, I don't want them to, but Jack I'd be the one. Go play that power play down to Laval, run that first unit, kill everybody in the league, essentially, fight everybody. But you like having him on the Habs too, because nobody's going to push the Habs players around if Jack Eye's out there.
That's it. It's a tough pickle because, like, okay, you got Harris. Like, everyone knows I am the president of the Jordan Harris fan club. I adore him. I think he's a phenomenal player. He is my kind of guy, right? But, you look at him from an objective perspective. He is ready for the NHL. Like, he belongs on an NHL team. You look at Jack Eye. Okay, he has a tremendous upside offensively as well, right? He's shown us that he can score, he can throw hits, fight, and all that. So he also belongs in the NHL, but is he as ready as Harris, right? So I think that's what you're saying, that give him a bit more time to really run the defense in Laval, right? Be that guy, and then gain confidence, get more goals, kill more guys, come back up, and he's going to be even better. Whereas, Jonathan Kovacevic would have to clear waivers. So that's a risk you'd have to take, right? He'll likely get claimed, right? We claimed him.
And he's a righty where everybody else is left.
Exactly. He's in high demand, no doubt. And he's been playing good. Like, you can't bash him or anything. Maybe he's not on the score sheet a whole lot, but you look at his game, like he's been efficient. So I have no problem keeping him on the team. The outlier seems to be Chris Weidman, though. He's been sitting a few games, hasn't really produced much offensively, which is really his bread and butter. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him. Might be a piece at the trade deadline there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how Harris plays. He's so smart and effective. And that's another guy, too, I wouldn't mind, where if you kept Jack Eye up, just that's to keep everybody else in check, the opposing teams. And he's playing well, where Harris doesn't bring that physicality side. Maybe put him down in Laval, let him run that first unit. So I'm curious to see, with Harris's hockey IQ and patience, I'd like to see what he could do on a power play as well. I know Jack Eye's got the upper hand, especially with the shot, obviously a little bit harder and better than Harris's, but there's tons of D coming, like Damon's saying here.
Hudson.
Hudson. That's the one I sat on stream at the draft and was crying for at 33, and then we still get him. But no, it's a fantastic time. It's fun to be a Habs fan because there's so many different avenues that they can go and how they can approach it, and it's fun kind of not knowing. Where I found with the Bergevin era, it was kind of predictable of Stein third, fourth liners.
That's it.
Play third, fourth line, even if you're not supposed to be a stud, go grind it out. But anyways, let's get to around the league. We saw Malkin reach 1,000 games last night, scores in his 1,000th game, saw his young fellow read the starting lineup. I mean, what a career for Evgeny Malkin, 1,000 games, all with the one team, Pittsburgh Penguins. Got any thoughts on Gino hitting 1,000?
That was special, man. Like the guy's doing his warm up too before the game, his weird ass stretches there. But no, it was sick to see. I really love to see that. He didn't know actually that his wife and his son were going to be there in Chicago. So that was a surprise to him to see his son walk into the room, read the lineup, give him a big hug and a little cry there. That was beautiful. But Gino's been like in the shadow, right? He's normally on another team, he'd be a superstar. He'd be a franchise player, but because he played with Sidney Crosby his whole career, he's kind of been in the shadows. But you look at this guy's career, he's insane. Like he's won a Hart Trophy, right? He's won MVP at for the Cup Finals. Like he's done it all. So shout out to Gino. He's still playing well too. He's not dwindling down at all. Like he said, he scored yesterday again. I'm a big fan of Gino for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I saw heard one tidbit as well, regarding Patrice Bergeron.
Oh yeah.
Kent Hughes offered him a contract for Montreal, more than what Boston did, and Bergeron politely turned it down to stay in Boston. I mean, everybody knew he was going to do that, but I found that interesting that it only came out when Knuckles released his podcast with Kent Hughes that they did try to get Bergeron. I mean, could you imagine a Suzuki Bergeron down the middle?
Disgusting. That is just gross. But I mean, Patrice Bergeron is such an enigma. Like this guy is, he's like a saint to me. Like, how can you be this good? You know, like not only is he a good player, but he's such a good guy. Like I don't know if you heard when Boston played Buffalo, he went up to Tage Thompson and asked him how his wife was doing because he knew that his wife had some sort of medical issue recently. So he's just like, he's built different. Like he just doesn't care about himself. He's so selfless. Just cares about winning in the team and bettering the people around him. So obviously any team would like to have a Patrice Bergeron. He's just amazing. What a great person.
I got to ask you, did you have Boston off to a 16-2 start on the bingo card to start the year?
I tell you what, I had him
miss playoffs.
Yeah, I had him out the playoffs. Actually, I thought they were gonna fall off because you're without Marchand and McAvoy to start the season, and they were supposed to be out until like December.
Yeah,
and they both come back early, and obviously they tear it up, and then Pastrnak is off to tear as well. Bergeron is still as good as ever, and then
at
Linus
one point
Ullmark,
Bergeron and Krejci weren't in the picture either.
Oh, Krejci as well, yeah, big addition for them. You need him on the second line center for sure. And then Linus Ullmark in net, right? Jeremy Swayman was supposed to be that guy for Boston, but he's been, pretty average so far this season. But Linus Ullmark really stepped up to the plate. He's probably one of the best goaltenders in the league so far this season. So, I mean, you never like to see it as a Habs fan, but you got to respect it. I mean, Boston's a wagon right now.
And I don't think Montreal plays Boston until like January or something. But
That's
and then
true,
I had another note too on the opposite end of the spectrum is I had this team doing a lot better. I thought they finally had the pieces together. The GM was heralded as the best offseason of the whole league. Is Ottawa?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
What is happening in centers? I know Talbot injury, and then all of the Josh Norris going down hurts. I mean, that's our 2C or 1C, or whatever way you want to look at it. Shabbat being hurt, Zub got hurt. I mean, it sounds like the Montreal Canadiens season that we started last year where everybody was hurt. But I mean, I think everybody had not high hopes per se with Ottawa, but like nobody had them second last coming out of November.
No, that's it. No chance. I mean,
wild.
Yeah, we expected a lot more entertainment first and foremost from Ottawa. Like we looked at their offensive core with, the addition of DeBrincat and Stützle becoming better throughout the years, and Brady Tkachuk, as always, and Josh Norris, who's hurt now, Drake Batherson, like
his own.
That's it, Shane Pinto. So this team is supposed to be an offensive threat, which I mean they kind of have been, but not as much as we expected. Defensively, however, they are in shambles. I mean that defensive core is just poo. You look at Nikita Zaitsev, right? You heard about that story about the kid who made a meme about him. And then, Nikita Zaitsev writes to this kid and tells him off. Like, that's how insecure this team is, right? They've been built on a losing culture, and that's not about to change. I don't know why we expected better. I actually had money on them making the playoffs this season. Bonehead move of mine, but hey, I had hope. But no, I don't know what's going on with Ottawa. They're going to need Ryan Reynolds real bad. They need a change of pace.
Well, and I was thinking too, I mean, I know part of it to blame is the injuries, but I mean, if that forward core can add a top 5 pick from this year's draft, I'm not sure if they traded away this year's draft pick or not, but if they add a top 5 talent of this draft to that already forward growth, like that forward group of Norris, Tkachuk, Batherson, Pinto, Stützle, like DeBrincat's still fairly young. I mean, the talent level's there. It's just they just need to find a way to put it together. But I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it just because Montreal was there last year. I mean, we were the laughing stock of the league. Stanley Cup Finals to dead last. Took us 50 games to get 9 wins. Took Caulfield 50 games to score 2 goals. Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on from around the league information. Just some quick tidbits there. Like I said, we're working out the kinks of the new show we're bringing in, but I'm kind of excited for this one. we're going to move on to one of our fun segments here. It's called the
Mhm.
McLean's Pub Percentages, presented by McLean's Pub, the real deal on Peel. So what this is I'm going to propose a question here, and then you're going to give your percentage of the likelihood of it happening and why, or the lower percentage of why you don't believe it's going to happen. So the first one, I want to make it a little Montreal Canadiens theme, judging by, since they have their first round pick. The first question, the percentage of Florida to make the playoffs, currently 5th in the Atlantic, 17th in the NHL. We saw that trade, bring out Huberdeau, Uyghur, gone. Their forward group is not as deep. I mean, think about Giroux's gone as well from that playoff push. Sherrod's gone. I want to see, what is your percentage of Florida making playoffs this year with Montreal holding their first round pick, unprotected, by the way. So if they finish dead last, Montreal gets that pick.
I mean, as a Habs fan, I want to say 0, but realistically, right, you look at Florida's team, they're too good not to make the playoffs. You got Barkov, who is one of the best centers in the league. Aaron Ekblad, one of the best defensemen in the league. And then you got a great tandem in net with Bobrovsky and Knight. Brandon Montour has been on a tear as well. Big shout out to him, and as well as Carter Verhaeghe. But I got to go with Damon here, and 65%. I think that is the accurate measure. I'd give it about a 65-70% chance they make it. Boston's a lock at this point, and then you got Toronto, Tampa, the usuals. I think it's going to be Florida as well. Yeah. What do you think?
Do you think Florida's a wild card, or do you think they're a top 3 in the Atlantic?
I'll go wild card, actually. I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, it all depends on Toronto. I think Toronto is the X factor here, and what could sway them is the goaltending, right? If Matt Murray stays healthy and stays good, or if Ilya Samsonov comes back, because right now he's injured, and plays as good as he's been, Toronto's top 3 for sure, which means Florida's a what's it called again? Wild card team. Yes, thank you. So I think it all depends on Toronto at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like that too. I'm not going to go less than 50%. I'm just going to take a quick look here at the wild card and division. So right now in the Metro, you got Devils 1, Carolina 2, Islanders 3. Then you have Detroit and Rangers sitting in the wild card. I know some people are really high on Detroit. I can see it coming. I don't think it's this year. I think the Rangers, Devils, Hurricanes are going to make it. I don't know if Islanders will be in the top 3 or if they'll be wild card. I think it's going to be close. I got to put it. I got to go around. I'm going to go 57% that Florida makes it. I think they do get it just because, like you said, the goalie tandem's too good. You got Barkov, Kachuk, Verhaeghe. I'm not sold on their bottom 6 per se.
No, that's it.
And their D core after, like their bottom half of their lineup, forward and D. But a couple, like if Barkov goes down or Matthew Kachuk goes down,
it's over.
As a Habs fan, like if Florida doesn't make it and they become I don't think they're a lottery team, but I mean, like I said, that pick is not protected. So if that's a top 10 pick, it's great for the Habs. So you're going with 65%. I got 57% on Florida making the playoffs. All right. So the next one, we have Connor McDavid to win the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. He has yet to win this trophy. I think it's the only thing he hasn't won in his life, besides Stanley Cup, obviously. So what is your percent for Connor McDavid to win the Maurice Rocket Richard? He's currently leading the league with 16 goals, 18 games.
So you look at who else could take it right now, right? To me, it's either between him, Pasternak, who's been on a tear, and then
Matthews sneaky Jason Robertson up there.
Yeah, sneaky Jason Robertson. I don't think he'll keep up that pace, but he's a phenomenal player, just absolute steal for Dallas. But Matthews is always creeping, like he's always there, right? He could always blow up and score 40 in 20 games, right? He has the potential to do that, but will he do it? Right now it's like he's having an okay season. Like he's not terrible, but it's not to the level he was last season, right? He won the Hart, he won the Rocket, like he won everything last year. So for McDavid to win the Rocket, I'd go 91%.
91%. I like it. I was telling my buddy this offseason that I heard it in the rumor mill. I don't know the truth to it, so don't quote me on it. That McDavid said, "Screw it, I'm going to win the Rocket this year. It's the one I want. I've won everything else. I want to win it." And he's so good that he can do it. So right now, McDavid has 16. Horvat is second with 14. And then we got a tied for third with Svechnikov, Tage Thompson, and Jason Robertson. Then you got Cole and Nick right behind them with 11 each. I think if Connor puts it in his mind that he wants that Rocket, I think he can do it. Mm-hmm. So but he's such a pass first kind of guy. But if he did in fact say that, if that is a true rumor, that's kind of scary for the league.
It's terrifying.
But yeah. So you're 91%. I'm gonna go. I'll go 97%.
I see what you did there.
There we go.
I see what you
Connor
did there.
McDavid to win the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. That is terrifying to think, though, if he sets his mind to something that he can just do it willfully, easily.
That is overpowered. Like that is EA Sports NHL level type of skill, like when you say, okay, yeah, I feel like winning this trophy this season, and you can do it. Like you have the skill to do that. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
So we'll move on to our last McLean's Pub percentage question of the night. We have a Montreal-based question. Nick Suzuki to record 85 or more points. So we'll put the over-under at 84.5. Career high, is 61 points in 82 games. That was last year, which is insane that he played all 82 with COVID and the rules and all that stuff. But Nick Suzuki to record 85 or more points. So if you hit 85, that counts as a win.
Mm-hmm. See, the only way I think he doesn't is if he gets injured. Knocking on wood, okay? The only way he doesn't get at least 85 is if he's injured. So I'm gonna go 98% because this man doesn't get hurt. Like he's got superior genes. We've spoken to Amanda and Rob as well. So shout out to them. Good parenting genes there. But yeah, I'd say 98% he does it.
You're saying 98%. Wow.
Yeah.
85 or more points. I know him and Cole will get 85 for 85. I like it. I know him and Cole, like there's going to be the season, it's like a roller coaster. It'll be up and down. They're playing so well. And then the way, like even the power play, the way they're moving the puck now and the way Marty trusts them to play so freely, I'm up there high as well. I gotta be conservative though. I got to go. Oh, man. I got to go 83%. No reason behind the 83, but I can't go quite high as over 90 just because his career high is 61. So that's an extra 24 points. But, I mean, he didn't have Caulfield last year for half the season. So, and then Kirby Dach as well. If that line keeps going, I like the chances of it. Man, it's crazy. When's the last time Montreal had a point per game player? Was it Kovalev in 08-09 or whatever season that was?
I have no idea. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like it's been that long.
Yeah, so things can cool down, and that's the thing. He very well could be cool. And the crazy thing is how young he is.
That's
we're not even close to their prime. So if we get a few players that can reach a point per game in the next few years, Montreal's gonna be a very fun team to watch. But that was the first time doing the McLean's Pub percentages from McLean's Pub, the real deal on Peel. If you're in Montreal for a game, make sure you check them out. They're a great supporter of ours. We like supporting them, and I always go there and get pickled for games. So make sure you go to McLean's Pub, real deal on Peel. All righty. So next segment, we have the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, boy.
So this is a segment here where we're going to do a snake draft. And normally if we're going to have more people on here, other co-hosts, or we'll add guests in the future. Mount Rushmore, where we go pick for pick for our topic that we decided on today was going to be the best warm-up / pump-up song. So, Shane, as co-host, I'll let you go with the first pick, then I'll go, then you go. No repeating, and then we'll let the fans vote after the show on our socials and YouTube channel. We'll put out maybe tomorrow a poll on who wins the Mount Rushmore of the night for best warm-up, pump-up song. So, first choice on you, buddy.
I got to go first overall pick. It's pretty easy. Give me Darude Sandstorm, baby.
Oh.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Okay. All righty. I have to go with the Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, the old song that they played for the Fredericton Canadiens when Fredericton Canadiens were the AHL affiliate. That is one of my favorite songs. It's a sneaky banger that not too many people
Sneaky
are
banger.
they're not used to it, but check it out if you want to. Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Fantastic song. You're up next.
Nice. Okay, second overall pick. Wait, isn't it your turn? Snake draft, right? You go twice.
Okay, yeah, I'll go second. Yeah, we'll do snake draft. I got you got Rough Riders Anthem, DMX. Fantastic tune. You're gonna go throw a little bit of rap in there for my second choice.
Okay. I like it. My second pick will be Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother.
Oh, going off the board a bit there.
Song goes stupid. I love it.
All right, so you're going up for your third pick here.
Yeah, going again. I'm going Howlin' for You by the Black Keys.
Oh, see, we're in different genres and time eras here. I like it, so I don't think we're going to repeat here. I gotta go. Let's see here. I got to pick between a couple of them here. Second, I just want to confirm so I don't screw it up and look like a chump. Apologies here. I'm gonna go Remember the Name, Fort Minor, an old tune, great tune. And then for my final pick, you got to go with Thunderstruck, AC/DC. You got to throw it back to a classic here.
Easy pick, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's your last pick here?
My last pick. You know what? I'll throw a little rap in there as well. I'll go "Can't Be Touched" by Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any honorable mentions that you put up there, but you weren't quite sure?
I'll have two actually. You know what? Another classic, right? "Crazy Train" by Ozzy. You know, it's always bumping. And then another Ozzy song, right? Black Sabbath, "Paranoid," I think is a great pump up song. So that is my list.
I will throw in to the other or the most famous white boy of all, "Till I Collapse" by Eminem.
Yes.
All right. So that's today's Mount Rushmore. We will post the picks later on, most likely tomorrow morning. You guys can vote who had the better list between Shane and myself. It'll be fun. You'd be curious what you see, and then in future segments of this part or future shows of this segment, we can have fans jump on, and then they can join the Mount Rushmore and make picks themselves, and then obviously more co-hosts and stuff like that. So we're just trying to add some segments into the show to kind of make it fun for viewers. Get your inputs. We see all the comments, the percentages. I love seeing people jump in and join, give their 2 cents. It makes the show fun. So we will be moving on to the final portion of the show here, and that will be the Habs upcoming week / prediction. So Tuesday, they are playing Buffalo in Montreal. Wednesday at Columbus. Friday at Chicago. So we have 3 games here, possible 6 points, 2 on the road, 2 games on the road. Sorry. What are you thinking for the Habs upcoming week here?
Yeah, I think these are like sneaky teams, right? So they're easy to overlook. Buffalo's been kind of slumpy lately. They've not been as good as they started off, but you still can't overlook them. So I'm thinking we go 2-1. I'm not going to say which game we lose or which game we win, but I'm thinking 2-1. And I'm excited to see Slav on the second line if Hoffman is actually injured. If he misses some time, I want to see Slav on the second line. I want to see him get big minutes with some big players.
Absolutely. And that's the main goal, I think, as fans, is obviously the first line, keep rolling. Slafkovsky getting those extra minutes, some extra time with some more skilled, impactful players. Nothing against Jake Evans and Pez and Armia and those guys, but I'm curious to see how Slav does, how he handles the time. 2 games on the road. Be curious if Marty does shelter him a little bit, just because of the change and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to see how he does tomorrow night, especially when Marty has that last change against Buffalo. Buffalo's been a tire fire, but it seems Buffalo, even when they are absolutely terrible, Montreal always had a tough time with them. So just one of those games. So I like where your head's at. I do like the 2-1 just because you're playing. Buffalo's not a bottom of the league team, but I mean Columbus and Chicago are right down there. 2-1, I think, is a very healthy guess, even if Montreal's not a playoff contender. Like, we hope they will be in some time. But 2-1's a great thing. I like this laugh thing. I just want to thank everybody for jumping on my first show back in a long time. I know I did the odd one here, but the life and routine's finally getting to a spot where I can put time back into this. So I look forward to doing this every Monday night around 8 p.m., I think, or 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. my time. Sorry, I'm Atlantic. But I just want to say thank you to Shane. I want to say thank you to all the fans for tuning in. And if you haven't yet already, obviously subscribe to Habs Tonight on YouTube. Check everybody out on their social medias. Go to the habstonight.net to get any merch if you want to get some Habs Tonight gear. And this was Legacy's Corner, the first episode, all said and done. I appreciate everybody helping out, and Nick in the back end for getting some designs ready. Yes. Shane jumping on. Thanks, buddy. Anything else to say?
That's about it. Glad to have you back, Brando.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, fans. We'll see you next week on Monday night for Legacy's Corner. Cheers.